Hey girlfriend, it's Victoria, the creator of The Naked News, where I uncover the truth about women's health and happiness with nerdy honesty and frequent laughter, and today, chia seeds. So let's face it, talking about poop is awkward, private, embarrassing. Some would even say bad manners. It's one of those subjects that falls into the taboo category related to bodily functions and fluids like sex and menstruation. But here's the thing. All of these and others not mentioned here are part of a healthy, normal, long life. And it's not exactly a competition, but if it was, poop arguably would top the list because if you don't go, you're not going to live very long. But it's actually even bigger than that because the quality of your poop can tell you something about your health, and being regular affects your quality of life on a daily basis. So in the last few episodes of The Naked News, we've been talking about how gut health affects everything from your mental health to your immune system, and how often you go is definitely related to your gut health. So if you want to understand the vital role your gut microbiome plays in total elimination, check out the last two episodes entitled How Gut Health Affects Everything, Everywhere, All the Time. In today's episode called Total Elimination, the art of pooping whenever and wherever you want, we're focused on how to set yourself up for success when it comes to what I call your poop life. And while some of what you're going to discover today is common sense, some of it falls into a category I call the unbelievable shit nobody teaches you, and another I've named poop hacks. Look, I believe you deserve to have the very best life, and that includes rock star regularity. Ready, set, let's find out what it takes to go. Hey, it's Victoria here, and I have a somewhat personal question for you. Are you 45 or older? Do you know someone who is? If you answered yes to either of these questions, I have the perfect gift for you or your loved one. It's thoughtful, funny, and original because nothing says you care, and I got your back, like the Naked Librarian's Guide to Your First Colonoscopy, an activity book for grown-ups. The American Cancer Society's guidelines move the colonoscopy age from 50 to 45 years old. So if you haven't scheduled yours yet, now's the time. This activity book is the companion experience to colonoscopy with 10 fun-filled activities and loads of hilarious trivia to keep you entertained while you count down from limited diet to final purge. There's even a colon maze you can do while you're waiting for the nurse to call you back for your procedure. Now, the activity book isn't out yet, so you gotta hold your horses just a little longer. We're wrapping up production soon, and I'll let you know as soon as it's available to order from Amazon. In the meantime, make your list of friends and family you want to delight with this rare and exciting gift. And as we say over at the Naked Librarian, bottoms up. Earlier this summer, I went camping with my husband Kyle and his son Wyatt. We had a marvelous time staying 3 nights at a semi-remote lake in Oregon's Willamette Forest, sleeping under the stars, hiking in the ancient forest with the dogs, and fishing from Kyle's inflatable pontoon boat. I even caught some fish. Something that I love about camping with Kyle is he is completely into my need to eat in a way that I want, and we even planned our meals this way. So he and Wyatt had hot dogs and ribs and chips, and I had my own cooler of berries, yogurt, quinoa, and a half a dozen vegetables. I ate great every day and got a reasonable amount of physical activity and rest. I had lots of downtime for reading and ate only one s'more, which is about one more than I usually eat. S'mores taste delicious, but generally make me feel gross, so I've learned to avoid them. I did so many things right. Still, for the last 2 days and 2 nights, I struggled to have a decent poop. And over the course of my stay, this really affected my happiness. I was uncomfortable and bloated and frankly, mystified. How could I eat all that fiber and probiotic foods and still miss my morning BM? Despite all of my efforts, I was pretty sure I knew what was wrong. You see, the campground where we stayed had pit toilets, which if you don't camp very much, think of them as glorified porta potties. When the company comes to clean them, they're pumping from a hole way down in the ground versus a few feet from your bum, so that part's better. But the part where people go there day and night for days and you catch the scent of waste on your short hike to the restrooms makes it a place where you want to get in and get out. I just couldn't seem to relax and go as I crouched a foot from the commode and held my nose. When we got back, I started researching this topic in earnest because it's not like this was a new problem for me. I have this issue sometimes, whether it's a tent, cabin, or hotel. And from talking with my girlfriends, I know I'm not alone. So, one of the things I learned is something we're going to cover in today's episode because, in addition to a high fiber diet, hydration, exercise, and a few other things that help you go number 2, your body can't poop unless it's literally in a rest and digest state. In other words, your brain can't signal your body to relax and let go if you're feeling uptight. So, as I did some inner work, I realized that for me, having limited access to a bathroom, a less than desirable toilet, having people in or waiting for me to exit the bathroom, much less, let's face it, stinking up a bathroom, were all factors giving me poopsiety. So you know how serendipity works. As I was learning all about the need for your body to be in what's called a parasympathetic state and to do what gastroenterologists affectionately call evacuation, Kyle and I had another trip to take. This time, we'd be staying in a very nice hotel in Salt Lake City so Kyle could attend a professional conference. And that's when I knew Kyle and I needed to have the talk. Even though I was raised in a hippy-dippy, make love, not war, pro-poop talk family, Kyle was raised with parents that he's described as having very Midwestern values around all things private and polite. And thus, we had been together for over 7 years, but mostly pretended like neither of us ever pooped. One of us would slip away, turn on a fan, and reappear relaxed. And that was as much overt communication we had on the subject of bowel movements. And that's how I knew if I was going to really have a shot at a great vacation, which for me includes going number 2 every single day. I had to upgrade pooping from a secret to what it is, a normal part of life. And so I packed my parcel of chia seeds in my suitcase, more on this later, and decided to broach the subject on the first night, which was very fortuitous for me because the layout of the hotel room had situated a very large king bed about 2 feet from a barn-like door that led to the bathroom. That way, one person could do what my son calls drop it like it's hot, and the other person can just relax in bed. We were on our way to a meet and greet, and I was all dressed up and feeling pretty cute in my dress shorts and high heels. I had my arm looped around Kyle's elbow, and we were just strutting down Main Street in Salt Lake City when I squeezed Kyle's arm and blurted out, "Hey, real quick, I need you to know on this trip, I really have to prioritize my need to poop." Kyle makes a certain face when he's shocked and looked at me like, "Please make it stop." And so I made the whole thing quite brief, but I did explain what I was learning about stress and the ability to, go. And I may have also defined the parasympathetic state before providing my closing argument. And so I am telling you because I just need the whole thing to not be a secret, I said. Like sometimes I just need to poop, okay? Kyle was quiet the whole time, which was fine. I had acknowledged early on that this was going to be an uncomfortable topic. When there was finally silence, he said, "Good talk," which I have learned from Kyle usually means I hate this topic. And because I've been to lots of therapy, I replied, "Honey, I need more than that." And so he gave me a hug and validated that I had been very vulnerable, that he understood, and politely asked if we could call it good. And you know what? That was good enough for me. So here's the crazy part. By getting our taboo topic out in the open, I found my ability to relax on this trip and go when I needed to go all worked out. Every single day, with astounding regularity, I met and exceeded evacuation standards and enjoyed myself like only a woman with true gut motility can. You're probably in a relationship where talking about poop is no big deal. I hope so. In fact, I'm now one of you. But what about when you travel and share a bathroom with other people? Some estimates have found that 40% of people struggle to go number 2 when they're away from home. Health experts even have a name for it. And no, it's not poopsiety, although I will probably use this made-up word at least one more time. It's called travel constipation. And what about when you're home and you're not regular? A lot of us have tried to troubleshoot this issue, and sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but there's a reason why our grandparents loved their prunes and prune juice. Having regular BMs gets harder as we get older. See what I did there? In a few minutes, we're going to get into some poop hacks. But first, let's review some poop facts. Because you know what they say, the more you know, the more you go. And now it's time to know your shit. Here's some common sense poop facts. So you probably know that how often you go is an indicator of bowel transit time and how long the food you eat stays in your body. I mean, that just makes sense, right? And you probably know when something is off in your poop life because things come out too loose or too hard or not at all. According to medical professionals, a typical healthy poop is brown, well-formed, sausage-shaped, uniform, and thick. It should also feel fairly easy to go. Will Bulswitch, a Charleston, South Carolina-based gastroenterologist and the author of the Fiber Fueled Cookbook, also the Gut Health MD on Instagram, says that most people go once or twice a day, and it's pretty common to go in the morning. Now, your routine may be very different, or maybe you're one of the 60 to 70 million Americans who struggle with digestive issues or gastrointestinal illness, according to the American Gastrointestinal Association Institute. Last year, the AGA Institute began a campaign called Trust Your Gut to normalize talking about what they call bowel symptoms with your healthcare provider early. This way, it shortens the time between the onset of a problem and significant disruptions in your daily life or the diagnosis of disease. How do you know if you have a problem? Here's a little gut check with questions from the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases. Here we go. Do you have fewer than 3 bowel movements per week? Are your stools hard or dry and difficult to pass? Do you feel like there's more stool you'd like to eliminate but can't? These would all be reasons to talk to your doctor, and one of the most important reasons to have this conversation is if you're having discomfort, according to Kenneth Brown, a gastroenterologist in Plano, Texas, and host of the Gut Check podcast. And while some bowel disruptions are due to changes in diet, routine, or environment, you don't want to wait too long because some of these problems can lead to more serious issues. Constipation in particular, according to Stanford Medicine Healthcare, can create the following: hemorrhoids, rectal bleeding, an anal fissure, which is a small tear in your anus, fecal impactation, which is hard, dry stool that you can't pass, rectal prolapse, that's when the large intestine pushes out of the rectum. By the way, if you're dealing with hemorrhoids, which affect up to 50% of men and women, I am working to bring you some bonus content that includes an interview with an amazing doctor in Oregon who does non-surgical treatments that can restore your bottom to feeling like you're a teenager again. Stay tuned. Okay, back to the facts. So before we move on to some amazing BM science that they didn't teach you in school, allow me to summarize what a healthy poop life looks like. You go once or twice a day, you go without discomfort, and you feel like you've had a complete bowel movement. Of course, please discuss any concerns you have with your doctor. This list is not exhaustive, and I am a health nerd, not a medical professional. So now that we have a baseline, let's keep going. Because if you want a happy belly and a winning poop routine, there are a few more things you gotta know. Hey girlfriend, it's me, Victoria, the creator of The Naked Librarian. I hope you're feeling smarter already from this episode. And speaking of smarts, do you know someone who is applying to college this year? You may not know this, but as much as I love what I do here at The Naked Librarian, I didn't always write about women's health and happiness. You see, for a long time, let's say 20 years, I helped other people tell stories. And I was lucky enough to start teaching writers in grad school, like way before I even knew what I was doing. And then I went all big time and taught at the University of Portland for 16 years, where I specialized in composition theory, which is how to write, and personal nonfiction, how to write about your life. Now, this knack eventually turned into an entrepreneurial itch, which turned into a book. And that's the short version of how I left academia for good. Now, I still work with college students who want help writing remarkable admissions essays. I love doing it, but it's pretty labor intensive and not a lot of families can afford it. That's why I wrote a book and created a course that shows students how to write a standout essay and, my favorite, become a better writer before college. I have a class that's on demand and includes video coaching lessons to take students from topic to finish essay, resources for parents and students, bonus coaching on writing supplemental and scholarship essays, and over 50 example essays for my students who've won hundreds of thousands of scholarship dollars and been accepted into top schools around the country. The course is also super affordable, which I worked really hard to do. If you know a college-bound student, send them over to victoriapayne.com/write-big, where they can learn more about Write Big 101 and watch my free training, 5 storytelling strategies to write your best college application essay. And if you're looking for a smart and thoughtful gift for your favorite high school student, you can find my book, Write Big, From College Application Essay to Storytelling Standout on Amazon. I would absolutely love your help getting these resources into the hands of more deserving high school students and their families. So this next section is called How to Be a Wise Ass. Shit they didn't teach you in school. Back when I took science in high school, we spent less than a few weeks covering digestion, and that was mainly to learn the body parts for a test. A lot has changed in 30 years, and one of the big revelations is understanding your gut. And I'll keep this part brief since I've done 2 whole episodes on this topic, but I want to just mention it here before we go on. Your gut health is more than the quality of food you put in your body, although that's one of the big ones. It's actually about the quality of good bacteria you have in your gut. As we discussed in earlier episodes, plant diversity and probiotic foods are really important when it comes to a healthy gut microbiome. So, one of the first ways you can address your poop life is to focus on your diet. We'll get into some particulars in the poop hack section, but I want to plug gut health because it's really the foundation for improving your regularity. Another very important aspect that affects your ability to go number 2 with regularity and ease is ensuring your body is in that parasympathetic state. We talked about the importance of being in a parasympathetic state when it comes to digestion with holistic health coach Jen Robinson in part 2 in the series on gut health, where Jen reminds us to slow down, take small bites, and to focus on our breathing throughout the day, even while we're eating. So, what is a parasympathetic state exactly? In short, it is your nervous system's ability to rest and relax. In fact, your parasympathetic nervous system is responsible for not just digestion, but also sexual arousal, salivation, lacrimation, the production of tears, urination, and today's special topic, defecation. Fun fact interruption. The sympathetic nervous system drives your fight or flight response in stressful situations. So you've got your parasympathetic and you've got your sympathetic. So what helps the parasympathetic system? Mild exercise, meditation, yoga, deep breathing from your diaphragm, or even nature walks can help us achieve this state. So is anyone else thinking about how much stress you have in your life right now? Like maybe your bathroom habits are being affected by deadlines, juggling your family schedule, high-stake personal or work projects, family problems, teenage drama, existential crisis, anyone? Some of this stuff is just circumstantial and will pass. But when you're in the throes of a stressful project or caring for a loved one who's dealing with a health crisis, there's not a lot you can change about that. But you can do more to help your parasympathetic nervous system do its job, even if that's just learning how to breathe from your diaphragm or getting out and getting some fresh air. Speaking of things they didn't teach you in school, I only really learned what deep breathing means a few years ago. And I'm a little embarrassed to admit this because I had been doing what we call belly breaths in yoga, but I somehow didn't get the memo that when someone says to take a deep breath, you're not just supposed to suck in a bunch of air and blow it out. It's a story for another day about how I learned this, but here was the result. I actually was able to use diaphragmatic breathing to reduce and practically eliminate chest pain and tightness that I was dealing with during a period of acute stress. I mean, I had my heart checked out and I had some plans for more tests, but after I learned how to do this, my symptoms went away, and this technique I just believe is a total game changer, and that's why I'm including it here. So according to Harvard Medical School, here is how you do diaphragmatic breathing. First, you lie on your back on a flat surface or in bed with your knees bent. You can use a pillow under your head or knees for support. You can place one hand on your upper chest and the other on your belly just below your rib cage. Then you're going to breathe in slowly through your nose. And you're going to let the air in deeply towards your lower belly. And a little hack that I learned is you want it, when you're breathing in slowly, you want it to kind of like slip past your chest into your belly. That whole like slipping past was something that helped me. So the hand that's on your chest should remain still while the one on your belly should rise. As you tighten your abdominal muscles and let them fall inward as you exhale through pursed lips, the hand on your belly should move down to its original position. So My friend, an amazing chiropractor who I talked a little bit about this with, told me that one of the reasons that many women struggle with diaphragmatic breathing is we've been conditioned to suck our stomachs in. And diaphragmatic breathing, as you hear in this exercise, has you kind of push your stomach out. And so it may feel counterintuitive to do this, but if you want to see if it can work for you, you want to try it 5 to 10 minutes a day for a while. And you can do this with by sitting up with your knees bent and your body relaxed. You can really do it anywhere. You don't have to go lie down. But if you wanted that extra, getting in the zone, you might try it that way. So I love how something as simple as breathing can be a treatment for a lot of wellness issues, especially with stress management. And you may not think of traveling to exciting or sunny places as anxiety producing, or even camping, which puts you in nature's abundance, as stressful. And for the most part, they're not. But when it comes to your bathroom habits and the disruption of your routines, your body can get a little out of whack, and it's much harder to get into that parasympathetic state. So this last section is dedicated to poop hacks, but I actually think that promoting a parasympathetic state is probably the ultimate poop hack. For me, it's been the biggest paradigm shift. All right, this last bit is dedicated for us doing some offense and defense when it comes to staying regular on the road or at home. So here we go, poop hacks for everybody. Number 1, eat more plants. So most people struggle to get enough dietary fiber when they travel, much less in their regular diet. Eating out, having food prepared for you by friends or family, or just having less access to your favorite grocery store when you're away from home can affect how you eat. Something you can focus on, whether you're at home or traveling, to help your poop goals is loading up on fiber-rich foods. These include mostly all vegetables and fruits, especially our leafy greens and certain fruits like figs and berries. It's also whole grains like brown rice and quinoa, all types of legumes like black beans, chickpeas, or pinto beans, and nuts and seeds. So almonds, hazelnuts, and mixed tree nuts are tops in fiber, and seeds like chia, pumpkin, or sunflower pack as much as 10 to 12 grams of fiber for 2 tablespoons. And when you start researching fiber, that's a lot. Interesting note, prunes contain only 1 gram of fiber per prune. So if you're looking to increase your fiber intake, you may want to look beyond this food, which has been marketed for its digestive benefits. There are a ton of great resources related to high fiber foods, and I'll include some in the show notes of this episode. But when it comes to eating more plants, specifically to improve elimination, there are a few foods I've personally added into my diet and found remarkable benefits. So the first one is flax seeds. Over the years, I've used many forms of flax seeds, from flax oil to ground flax to whole seeds. But one of the best forms I've found are actually crackers that are made from flax. So far, I have not had a lot of success making these for myself, so I found a brand that's called Flackers, and that's a fun word to say, Flackers. And you can find them in places like Whole Foods or on Amazon. They come in a variety of flavors, but what makes them different from other whole grain crackers that contain flax is that it's just flax, apple cider vinegar, and salt. And they contain 9 grams of fiber for 10 crackers. Having them with some high quality hummus, and you're looking at about 11 grams of fiber for a snack. Chia seeds. Okay, first, my disclaimer. I'm a little obsessed with chia seeds. I first learned about chia seeds as a travel tool for regularity from a nutritionist who swore by packing these on all her trips. And all you have to do is take 1 to 2 tablespoons and let them sit in a large glass of water for a few minutes, then shake or stir and drink it all down. Not the most appetizing way to enjoy chia seeds, but the idea is to deliver 10 grams of fiber to your digestive system fast and let it do the work. And it's important that you drink a lot of water. I also really like following the guy that I was telling you about earlier, Dr. B, the Gut Health MD, on Instagram. If you listen to my other podcast episodes, by the way, my therapist's name is Dr. B, so it's been kind of weird calling this guy Dr. B, like there could be only one Dr. B. But his handle on Instagram is the Gut Health MD. And he did a great video about a viral trend called the internal shower. And apparently everyone is talking about it. I mean, not me until now because I didn't know about it. But so basically, Dr. B affirms that drinking your chia seeds is a great way to increase your dietary fiber, and it's been shown to improve bowel movements. And I'll include a link to his video also in the show notes. By the way, if you care about gut health or fiber, all that stuff, Dr. B, the Gut Health MD, is really awesome. I love all his videos. So what's got me really crazy about chia is making my own chia pudding trifle. I eat this religiously every day for a snack or dessert, and it honestly could not be easier to make. You just soak chia seeds overnight in milk or non-dairy milk. I actually make my own cashew milk and put just a little maple syrup in that. That's what I use. So what you want to do is you want to soak your chia seeds overnight in whatever milk you want. You can add a little bit of natural sweetener. I use pure maple syrup. That's kind of my go-to. And what happens is it turns into a creamy, slightly sweet pudding. And then I layer it with plain yogurt that I sweeten with maple or honey, and then some berries and some other high fiber fruit. I didn't even know I was going to tell you this in this episode because I wrote this a couple of days ago and I'm recording it today, but I have to tell you this. I recently bought this amazing almond maca butter, and it's sweetened with coconut sugar, so it does have a little bit more sugar in it than I was planning on, but holy smokes, it is so good. I've started to add a little teaspoon in with my layerings, and whoo, it is such a good dessert. Now, I keep trying to get Kyle to taste this, and he's not so into it, but I think it's delicious, and you just got to try it. So I think chia pudding is a way better way to eat your chia seeds, but I get it. It's not that great when you're traveling, unless you're a weirdo like me and you bring your own cooler to your father-in-law's house with a fresh batch of chia pudding for your nighttime ritual. And if you make enough, you can share. Curtis, my father-in-law, gave me a big thumbs up. Okay, so here's this last little hack that I learned about. It's green kiwi. I only recently started hearing about the beneficial effects of eating green kiwi. Kiwi is not only high in fiber with 2 grams in each fruit, but it also contains an enzyme called actinidine, which facilitates the breakdown of protein. If you've been focusing on eating more protein, you definitely want to know about kiwi. So Dr. B, the Gut Health MD I was telling you about, so he mentioned that you want to incorporate 2 to 3 green kiwi per day. So I created my own little experiment a couple of weeks ago that incorporates 2 kiwi a day, and I am loving the benefits, and I think they've contributed to several weeks of digestive bliss. So Dr. B also recommends kiwi for flatulence and bloating. And by the way, gas and bloating can be a sign that you're not fully evacuating when you go. So kiwi can help with both regularity and treating symptoms if you're not going enough. So number 2, you have got to move it. It's hard enough to get more movement when you're at home or working throughout the week. I mean, I've been sitting down for the last 3 hours every day working on this episode, and I know I need to take a break and go for a walk, but it's easy to get caught up. But when you travel, it can be even harder to maintain a workout routine, especially if you're someone who runs with a friend, me, or likes group classes, hello, me. And this all kicks off with travel itself, which can have you sitting for hours at a time. So I know hotels have gyms, and your parents that you're visiting, they probably have a sidewalk or some trails, but a lot of people struggle with motivation when their travel isn't built around activities that integrate hiking, walking, or other planned movement. It's easy to get into vacation mode and plan to catch your workouts on the flip side. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with chilling out and taking it easy on vacation. I want you to do that. But I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell you this part. When you don't move enough, and when you eat more rich food or drink more sugary drinks or alcohol, this affects your bowel movements, as exercise has been scientifically proven to help with constipation. So Bethany Dorfler, a gastroenterologist research specialist with the Northwestern Medicine Digestive Health Center in Chicago, says we don't really know how exercise improves bowel movements, but there's clear evidence it does. One theory is that movement works on both a mechanical and a chemical level, which means that your body experiences physical pressure, even twisting of the intestines, in addition to increased blood flow to the intestines during exercise. Also, digestive enzymes and hormones are known to be released during physical activity. So, how vigorous should your activity be? Well, just 30 minutes of light cardio a day has been shown to support gut motility, Exercises that twist or jostle the body provide additional benefits. If you're traveling, light jogging is a great way to get your heart rate up and help move food through your body. It also jostles your organs, which literally moves things along. As long as your goal is better bowel movements versus a new PR on race day, a little running is something to try when you're troubleshooting constipation. If you're like, nope, I am not running, got a few more. So core exercises have also been shown to help with regularity. Your core muscles play an important role in gastrointestinal motility. Core contractions and exercises like crunches and plank increase pressure and help your food move through your digestive system. Yoga has also been shown to provide benefits because it supports both a rest and digest state and includes postures that put pressure on your organs. And the cool thing is you can do a little yoga when you're traveling. You don't have to go to a class, which is sort of my favorite. So some of the recommended yoga postures include cobra, child's pose, and supine twist. Poop hack number 3, more water, less wine. Hydration has so many important health benefits, and wouldn't you know that regularity is one of them? When it comes to travel, or let's face it, a rough week at work, we may be leaning on other beverages to get us by. Whether that's sugary coffee drinks, soda, or alcohol, we often drink less water when we're leaning too hard on these other beverages. Alcohol in particular can have negative effects on gastrointestinal motility. In addition to hurting your overall water intake, it also causes gastritis, which disrupts the production of mucus in the intestines and often manifests as diarrhea. It also causes inflammation because the body struggles to process all of the sugar in alcohol. Any type of alcohol can cause bloating, but beer is a known culprit. So if you drink alcohol at home or on vacation, the advice is more than drink in moderation, but consider less sugary options and make sure you're drinking plenty of water. How much? This may vary from person to person, and factors like your activity level, the temperature outside, even body size play a role in finding the right number. According to the National Academy of Medicine, it's suggested that women drink about 2.7 liters or 91 ounces of fluids every day, while men should aim for 3.7 liters or 125 ounces. This includes not just beverages, which is good news for people like me who struggle to drink water, but also water-rich foods like fruits, veggies, and soups. Since the average ratio of fluids to foods is roughly 80 to 20, that means women should aim for about 9 cups a day, while men should aim for around 12 and a half cups. You can also find other calculations that recommend drinking a half ounce to 1 ounce of water per pound. And I'm not going to do the math here, but for me, that's way beyond 8 cups of water. Fascinating fact alert. Studies have shown that limited water consumption ages your body faster, increases your risk of developing chronic disease, and may even shorten your lifespan by 15 years. Specifically, one study found that less hydration corresponds with higher levels of serum sodium in mice, and observed that higher levels of serum sodium in humans comes with a 64% higher risk for developing age-related diseases such as heart failure, stroke, atrial fibrillation, peripheral artery disease, chronic lung disease, diabetes, and dementia. For health nerds who struggle to drink enough water, that would be me, this news got my attention. It also shines a spotlight on the priority for clean, accessible water for people all over the world. All right, so these last two are not exactly poop hacks, but they are a little bit of Q&A that I sometimes get on this topic. So I'm going to cover these last two questions before we close it out. What about fiber supplements? At some point in your life, you may have taken psyllium husk, Metamucil, or some other fiber supplement. Most health experts agree that it's better to get your fiber from food than supplements, but alas, sometimes you need a fiber boost, especially if you're away from home. The internal shower that I told you about earlier, that chia seed and water concoction, is more of a whole foods approach to a supplement, but if you're looking for something more portable, here are some ideas. Be advised that every person responds differently to fiber supplements, and you may have to try a few to find what's right for you. Best practice is to drink an extra glass of water with your supplement and start slowly to avoid gas and bloating. As always, talk to your doctor about taking supplements for constipation so that you're not overlooking an important health concern. So just a little note here, over the years, I'm not taking it right now, I've taken an excellent fiber supplement that was recommended to me by my naturopath, and it's called Gastro Fiber, so you can look it up. I used to actually just Freudian slip, I would call it astrofiber. I would call the office and be like, hey, I need more of that astrofiber. And then I would always catch myself and like, no, it's gastrofiber. So that's a really good one. It has, I think it has phenol in it. So you get a little bit of like licorice taste when you swallow, but that's one I have used. It's not going to be in this list here, but just a little Victoria thing that you should know. All right. So how do you spell fiber? It's complicated and personal. Okay. So arabinoxolin, inulin, methylcellulose, and polycarbophyll are just a few names for dietary fiber. Do you feel smarter? Standard researchers looked into the effects of arabinoxolin and inulin. Arabinoxolin is found in psyllium husk and Metamucil, and inulin is a common ingredient found in diet food because it makes you feel fuller. Researchers found while arabinoxolin can reduce bad cholesterol, definitely a bonus, too much inulin can increase inflammation. Other dietary fiber supplements include methylcellulose, better known as Citracel, that helps soften and bulk up stool, and polycarbophyll is another popular choice that can treat constipation and irregular bowel movements, and it's said to do this without discomfort or bloating. Brand names include Fibercon, Fiberlax, Equilactin, and Metrolon. These names all sound so funny. And we haven't even really gotten into the fun probiotic names, which I'm about to tell you. Okay, so that leads me to the next question. Do you need probiotic supplements? And the answer is maybe. So what about probiotics? The advice to get your good bugs from food instead of supplements still remains the gold standard. Probiotic foods, by the way, are yogurt, raw, and unpasteurized cheeses like aged Parmesan, cheddar, Swiss cheeses, sauerkraut, kefir, kimchi, kombucha, and miso. So I go into more probiotic and prebiotic foods in the episodes on gut health, so go over there and get the full exhausted list. It's pretty awesome. So health experts recommend probiotics as a treatment or preventative for constipation. So if you can't get all of that probiotic good eating in and you're traveling, or if you're struggling with this at home, probiotic supplements can be useful. So there's a ton of probiotic supplements on the market, and you'll want to do some research here. Some basic guidelines include choosing a probiotic that has at least 1 billion colony-forming units that contain, here we go, lactobacillus, Bifidobacterium, Bacillus, or Saccharomyces boulardii. You also want to pay attention to how your probiotics should be stored, since some require refrigeration, which won't work well for traveling unless you opt for the health nerd cooler situation I mentioned earlier. Definitely check with your doctor or naturopath who may have a recommended probiotic for you. So wrapping up here, and I just want to say your best poop life awaits. I know I've hit you with a ton of information, and if you want a breakdown, make sure to check the show notes for some resources. Information overload will certainly raise your cortisol levels, and since I want you to have the poop life of your dreams, please take a few minutes to breathe and listen to the upbeat tunes we've curated for you at the end of this show before jumping back in your day. Maybe nod your head and wiggle around a bit because while there's no scientific research on the specific effects of music and dancing on regularity, although I have a story about this, I'll share it another time, I have a hunch that the feel-good chemicals that get released and the body jostles that ensue from a dance party make it another one of those helpers. So relax, take some belly breaths, maybe do a little Roger Rabbit or the snake, and tell your body thank you for how hard it works on your behalf. And rejoice, because poop is life.
La 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 la. Everyone a come and we should have fun. La 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 la. Everyone a come and we must have fun. Every day we say that things is hard. Still we better than plenty abroad. Earthquake come and it shake down some. Earthwind come and it blow down some. La 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 la. Everyone a come and we should have fun.
I hope you enjoyed this production of The Naked News. Everything created here is for educational and entertainment purposes and should not take the place of talking with a medical or mental health professional. If you heard something today and thought, hey, I need to go get this checked out, I say go for it. And remember to visit us over at nakedlibrarian.com/nakedlibrary to learn more from any of the awesome authors you heard from today. I'm going to put Dr. B's fiber-fueled cookbook over there. You can also find my colonoscopy activity book when it comes out. You can buy it from the Naked Library. Also, my book for college applicants, Right Big, is going to be over there. So thanks again for listening. You're amazing, and cheers to living your very best life.
Everyone come on, we must have fun. Come Israelites, come Caymanites, come Jamaican, come run, come make we have some fun. La 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 la. Everyone come on, we should have fun. La 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 la. Everyone come on, we must have fun. A tourist come everyone come to the land of the sea and sun. La 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 la. Everyone come and we should have fun. La 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 la. Everyone come and we must have fun. Come Miss Tourist come Miss a tourist come everyone come to the land of the sea and sun. La 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 la. Everyone come and we should have fun. La 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 la. Everyone come and we must have fun. La 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 la. Everyone come and we should have fun. La 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 la. Everyone come and we must have fun.